All right, everybody. Welcome to the last of the Rise of the Prospect Cage Series 2 interview. We finally tracked her down. We got Gaby Caban, who is going to be competing at the Rialto Theatre July 9th, again, for the Rise of the Prospect Cage Series 2. She's going to be taking on Shakira Lindsay in a 130-pound catch weight, if my information is correct. So first things first, I want to talk about camp because I saw you in there super focused, like laser focused. There's nobody else existed except for your training partners and whatever you were doing. So talk to me about the camp. How's that been going this time around?
The camp was good. We, made some changes. We focused a little bit more on takedowns and wrestling and got some more sparring in. I trained at different places. Last camp I trained at Northside, and just my gym. This time I was training over at Rise Combat Sports. So it was really good to be able to get, a different feel, especially be able to train with girls because I usually tend to have to train with guys just because it's male dominated, so especially over at Northside, I'm always the only girl in the MMA classes, which is cool. I love the guys, they're super helpful. They've definitely, they're super motivating. They push me. They do not go easy on me, which I always appreciate. So that's always great. But it was also nice to be able to go over at Rise where, the jujitsu class that we would do would be a mix of guys and girls, but then sparring, I got to spar with girls. So I actually got to train with Quinn one time too. So that was nice. That was fun. We were like, oh, we're back in here again. It's deja vu. But Quinn is great. She's so nice and sweet, and she's a beast. So that was nice to be able to do that. And then, just some of the other girls, they're younger, they're newer to jujitsu, but I think a little bit more experience in boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. So that was good. Also with Trudy, I don't know if you know Trudy. I got to train with her, and Trudy's a savage too. So it was good. We made some changes, but it was a great camp.
Well, let's see. You mentioned something that I definitely want to touch on. You got to train with the last girl that you were in the cage with. So talk to me not about how the sessions went, but did you pick up anything from her that you think is going to benefit you in this next one?
Um, Definitely. Like I said, Quinn is a beast and it's amazing. She's so young and she's just great already. I can't wait to see where she takes this. I know she's going to go far. So, just it was I felt a little more confident this time because I'm like, all right, well, this isn't brand new to me. So just, her boxing is great, which is something that I've always felt like I needed to work more on. So I definitely learned some stuff in sparring with her. Again, Quinn did not take it easy on me. I didn't take it easy on her either. We were both laughing. We were like, why do we feel like our sparring rounds are harder than our actual fight was last time because, we were going in on each other, but it was fun. And like I said, I definitely learned, you know, just how to read a little bit better, I guess. And yeah, it was just helpful overall, just training with her. We only got to train one time because then unfortunately she got injured. But just that one time alone, I feel like it kind of made me feel a little bit more confident, if anything. So it
I
was a
think
good.
that's pretty cool, and it kind of goes back to like true martial arts, the respect and all that stuff. It's very cool to see that you guys are able to fight one day and then be training partners the next day. That's pretty cool.
And you know what? That's like very much how I am. It's funny because a lot of people, when they don't know me, they're like, oh my gosh, you're terrifying. Like you have a serious resting bitch face. And I'm like, I swear it's 99% more than likely not towards you. It's just my face, like literally. But then people get to know me and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so nice. And I've become friends with girls I've competed against and beat multiple times, but I'll just be like, hey, let's be friends. And then we go out and we hang out and we're like besties. And I just feel like that's the way that it should be, especially in this sport. Like I said, it's male dominated. There's not a lot of us girls in even jujitsu alone, there just isn't a lot of females. So for me, it's always super important that, you know, there's sportsmanship, that there's respect, and just, what? We threw hands, we threw down, let's be friends, like that's how I'm gonna be with Shakira. That's how I was with Quinn. Like immediately, I think that night or the next morning, I added her on Instagram and I was like, hey, good fucking shit. Like, that was so much fun. Like, I'm so excited to watch you. You're a fucking beast. Like, you know, and that's how I am, you know, and I wish all girls were like that. I think for the most part, most of us are. There's always one or two here and there, but I think it's super important for us to support each other and just, you know, be there for each other. Cause I'm sure just like me, a lot of the girls get stuck training with a lot of guys. And that's cool and all, but it's also nice to be able to have, you know, that group of girls. And that's what I loved about Rise over there is there was that group of girls and we had so much fun. Like they didn't even know me. You know, they just met me from we sparred, all right, we're cool and, you know, we're like friends now. So I just like love it. I love that part of it is just getting to meet new people, getting to meet new girls and just kind of have each other's back.
Well, and it'll help contribute to the growth of the women's, women's MMA, right?
Yeah.
Not being the, how some guys they'll fight and then they just, that's it. They don't either associate or they're still bad mouthing their opponent, win or lose. You know what I mean? The Tony Kellys of the world. You know what I mean? So, he got after my guy Giannis, so I got to throw that in there. But you know what I mean. So I think it's very, very, very cool, and I think it helps contribute to the growth of women's MMA, which I mean, it's pretty fucking badass. You know what I mean? Watching girls get in there and compete. I'd say a good 80 to 90% of the time, the female fights are usually the most exciting fights. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate that you had to compete on the same card as EK and Borrego because that fight was phenomenal, right? So, and there was also some other good fights on there. But I mean, your fight was very exciting. You know, the crowd was screaming your name. I mean, it was very, very like, how did it feel in there? Like, that's got to be a little surreal, right?
It is. But you know what? Like, I don't know how it is for everybody else, but I have a hard time hearing, like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, I know that, like, my cheerleaders, my friends, they're fucking great. You know, they support me and everything. And I know they're like loud as fuck. But when I'm in there, I don't really hear anything. I can barely hear my coaches, you know? So, but I mean, it's still like, just knowing that they're there, it feels good. And like I said, I have such an amazing support system. Like my friends that I've made at the gym and everything, like they literally support me in whatever I do. If they can be there, they will. They travel to fucking Mexico with me, you know, for a competition. I'm like, that's the type of friends everyone has to have, you know. Like I know one's already bringing me cookies tomorrow for after weigh-ins. The other one's like, what do you want to eat? Like, you know, they're like, whatever you need, we got you. So it's amazing. I love that they go and that they take the time. A lot of them are moms like me, you know, but they'll be like, dads, you're taking care of the kids and I'm going to watch Gabby, you know? So, so I love it. You know, a big reason why I do it is I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to fight so we can go and just, you guys can watch me throw down.
That's awesome. And a nice segue into my favorite question. So everybody that comes on my show has to answer this question. Nobody gets a free pass.
What it is. And I have your answer, Empire Pizza.
You
Listen,
beat the punchline.
listen, your girl likes to eat, okay? So I have been thinking about what I want. I already know I want Empire Pizza. One of my friends is hopefully getting me this ridiculous chocolate cheesecake from Costco that they had at my coach's birthday this weekend, and I could not have any. So she's like, I'm going to do some. So that's what I want. Empire
Okay. Okay. So I don't get to go through my whole thing, but it sounds like somebody has watched a couple Head Kick audio interviews. So what toppings are on this pie?
Oh man, people might come at me for this one, but I don't even care. I love pepperoni, pineapples, and jalapenos. That is my favorite.
Okay. It
I
sounds like
know
something my daughters would do.
that what?
Sounds like something that my daughters would do because they like the pepperoni and pineapple combination.
Yes, it's so good. It's my favorite. I know it's weird. I know people are like, ew, pineapple on pizza, but it is so good. So that's what I want.
Well, to each their own, and you're having pizza, so who gives a fuck?
Right?
It's your pizza, not theirs.
Exactly. And I want the whole thing. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yes. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. All right, are we gonna wash it down with anything?
Yeah, I'm definitely drinking. I'm ready to have some fun. It's been a long camp, you know, parenting, working, everything. I'm just like, I need a break. I'm going to have a drink. I take tequila shots. That's what I do. So that's what it'll be. But you know what? I want a Coke, so I'll probably have a Coke too.
Okay, hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, and plus, you have been working hard. You know what I
I,
mean? So you deserve to, cut loose, take a break, fucking have one night off where it's all about you. Whatever you want, I am 100% in support of that for sure.
that's the plan. That is the plan. We're going to go out and have fun at that because Cobra's having the after party, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be there.
Yes. Me too. Actually, me too.
Yes, I will be there. We will all be there. We'll have a good time.
I think so. So talk to me about like because your life is bananas. Your life is absolutely crazy. Like I said, it was very difficult to even set this thing up. So you don't have to talk about anything you don't want to mention, but what are some of these obstacles that have been plaguing you this camp?
Um, just I've just had some changes in my life. I'm very open. I don't mind sharing whatever, but I've just had some personal things going on. Actually, since the first rise that I did with jujitsu, and I had things going on last camp, and just had things going on this camp. A lot of personal things. Kind of in the middle, going through a divorce. So my kids, left for the first time to visit their dad um, on the East Coast, and it was very new. So it was just something that, like, mentally, emotionally, I was kind of going through that was a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So, just things like that, and just being a single parent in general, it's not easy. It's a lot of sacrifice for everybody to do fight camps, but I think when you have kids and they're affected by it in some way, it's probably even more difficult. I don't know if anyone else is a single parent trying to do this, but I am. And a lot of the times my kids train at the gym too. So I'm there for their training, and then they have to kind of stick around for my 2.5 hours, however long. And I know that sometimes they're just like, oh my gosh, mom, like, we've been at the gym like for 3 hours, like, we just want to go home. But I'm like, well, I have to train, and but they can't stay home because there's nobody here. So my kids definitely sacrifice right along with me. But like I said, I have a great support system. A lot of my friends are always like, do your kids need a ride? I'll pick them up, whatever. So that's just been one obstacle, just trying to juggle working full time, being a single parent, and still pretty much training 3.5 hours a night. And when I would go to Rise, that's far from me. I live in Sahuarita, so it's about an hour drive there and an hour drive back. And when you don't get done until 9 o'clock, I'm like, oh my gosh, I still have an hour drive home. I still have to feed these kids. I still have to do everything else that I haven't had a chance to do during the day. So it's hard to find like a good balance, but I make it work. My kids, I think maybe they're just used to it now, so they're just like, oh, well, we're doing it again, but yeah, just a lot of things like that. A lot of changes in my life um that I'm just learning to navigate and deal with. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, it just adds to your savagery. You know, what I mean? It really, really does. Because there's a lot of people in your situation that would have just given up. They would have just found something else. You know what I mean? You didn't give up on yourself in your last fight, and you're not giving up on yourself now. And when people get in this game, it's to be the best, and to be the best means that you get to provide for your family in ways that you couldn't work in a regular 9 to 5 job, right? So you have to make sacrifices to get there. A lot of fucking people would just say, oh well, fuck this, I'm done. You know what I mean?
That's not an option for me. I'm not one to give up. I never have been. I don't think I ever will be. My like I said, my kids train in this too. My son, for a while now, he's been like, oh, this is what I want to do when I grow up. I want to do MMA. So I was just like, you know what? Lead by example. Let me get in there, at 32, well, now 33, 33 years old, it doesn't matter. I just want them to know that, you know, it's not a matter, and I tell them this all the time. I'm like, there's a difference between being able to do something and wanting to do something. I'm like, everybody can do this. Everybody can if they want to. I mean, I'm like, but it's a matter of whether they want to or not. That's the difference. I'm like, everybody can, but not everybody wants to. I'm like, and I want to do this, so I make the sacrifices that I have to make. And I want my kids to be able to see that they can do it too, And I get people all the time at the gym that are like, we don't know how you do this. And I'm like, I don't know either, but I do, I figure it out. I make it happen because, I'm not going to make excuses. If it's something that I committed to, then I'm going to push all the way through, because trust me, this camp was rough, like I said, I had all that stuff going on, but I was just like, I'm not going to quit. Like, that's not me. It's never will be, never has been. So just do what you got to do.
Definitely. And you got to do what you got to do in this sport. Like, there are no shortcuts. There are no easy way outs. I mean, you literally just have to stay committed and, stay on the path. So,
Yeah.
like I said, there's a lot of people that would have just fucking given up and, moved on to something else or, hid under a fucking rock. You know what I mean? Because people do what they got to do to, deal with their shit because everybody's got it. You know what I mean? And you say anybody can do this. You are 100% correct. I'd say probably 99% of the world's population could, train or compete in MMA, but not all of them should because this is a fucking dangerous game. You could seriously get hurt.
Yeah.
And you could also just not be very good.
Yeah. I mean, more like not necessarily MMA. I'm just talking like more life in general, like, whatever somebody wants to do, it can be little, it can be big, you can do it. But again, it's just how bad people want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily, I don't necessarily mean MMA, because you're absolutely right. Like, I don't think everybody can do this. They cannot. Like, that's just reality. They cannot. It's hard. It's physically, mentally, sometimes emotionally draining, and not everybody has that, and that's okay. Like, that's perfectly fine. But just that's just my view on life in general.
Okay.
Like, no
Okay.
matter how little or how big something is, like, you can do it. It's a matter of how bad you want to do it and are willing to do it and do what it takes.
I hear you. So Northside and Rise, like, how do you balance both?
I was pretty much just sticking to a schedule of Thursday night go to Rise, Friday night go to Northside. But my other
Okay.
would be at my gym, and Saturday would be at my gym with my coach because my coach from Northside coaches at my gym too.
Okay.
So I would see him like on Fridays for the MMA class with the guys for sparring and all that. And then on Thursdays, I would go to Rise with Coach Matt, my other coach. And then I would still get training in with both Coach Matt and Coach Keith on like the other days because they both coach at my gym. So
Okay. See, I didn't know that Keith was at another gym, so that's pretty cool. I know Keith. Keith is a good dude. I like that guy.
yeah.
I like that guy. He's always treated me with respect. Has actually opened up his doors and, brought fighters in for me. So, in my book, that's a good dude right there. So that's cool that you're able to get like multiple days of training in with, a bunch of different looks. I mean, I gotta assume that that's going to translate in the fight.
Yes, absolutely. It better. I've worked too hard, man.
All right. So outside of the fight game, right? What are some things that Gaby Caban likes to do for fun?
Oh, man. Honestly, like, I literally just work and train and take care of my kids.
Well, what
Up
do you do for
until
work?
I'm a social worker. I'm a medical social worker at the VA hospital.
That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope.
So that, I work full time. Um, it's a lot of work. I'm sure everybody knows social workers, we do work very hard. So that can also be kind of mentally and emotionally draining at times. But, I try to leave that at the door. when I get home, and not, let it just continue to consume me, because that can happen sometimes. And then, yeah, I mean, like I said, my kids and I, we just train. We spend a lot of time, like every weekday in the evening is at the gym. Up until recently, once I started my divorce process, I did start going out a little bit more. So I do hang out with my friends. I like to go downtown. Cobra's always fun. So, we'll just go out, hang out downtown, just go grab drinks, eat, whatever. And I like to compete. So I try to compete as much as I can. We did like that whole girls trip, like I said, to Mexico, and I did the jiu-jitsu tournament out there, and the girls went with me. So I was still competing, but we still had fun. So trying to do more of that, kind of go out. Like I told Coach Matt, like, I want to travel more and compete more outside of just here in Tucson and Phoenix area, because that's great and all, but I also want to experience competing with other people that I haven't already competed against, because it's definitely, it's different. There's really good people out there. So that's my goal, is to just kind of go out and compete more, because that's what I like to do for fun. So
Okay. Well, again, savage. Savage. Right? Okay. So are you born and raised from Arizona?
no, I am not. I'm from California.
Ah, you're from Candy
So
Cornea.
I'm from Orange County.
Oh, okay. Now there is an Orange and an Orange County, right? Like there's those two different things, right?
So there's Orange County, and then there's the city of Orange in Orange County. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm actually from Santa Ana, kind of close to Anaheim, Disneyland area. Born and raised there until I was 18, and I left.
Okay. Why'd you leave?
I joined the Marine Corps.
Oh, okay. Well, talk to me about that.
So I joined the Marine Corps pretty much straight out of high school. Went to boot camp out in South Carolina, good old Parris Island. It was hell, but honestly, the best decision I think I ever made. I served 5 years. I worked on C-130s. I don't know if you know what those are. They're the big planes you guys see flying around everywhere. The boneyard, there's a bunch of them over there. I
Okay.
worked.
Well, it sounded very impressive.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I deployed one time to Kandahar, Afghanistan. Um, that's pretty much it. I got out after my 5 years, just because I had kids, and deploying and all that, it's hard on them. It's hard on everybody. So I just, they're my priority. So I just felt at that time that was the best decision to make. And then, yeah, just went to school, and here I am.
Well, again, I'm trying to poke a hole and find out where there's no savagery going on, where you're not just an epic badass, but I can't find anything. You're literally like, I don't know. I can't find any flaws here.
I'm sure something will come out eventually. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Single mom, MMA fighter, Marine vet, likes to go compete in Mexico. I've never even been to Mexico.
You haven't even been to Rocky Point, like right here? Oh my goodness. Well, next time if we go compete out there, you should come with us.
Hey, I'm down. I just I just never been, you know what I mean?
It's a
So I
good
don't
thing.
I wouldn't even know what to expect, you know what I mean? You hear the horror stories and I'm like super gringo, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you'll be all right. You'll be fine.
I'll just hide behind you and they won't even,
You know what's so funny is, like, when one of the girls that was coming, her husband was like, "You can go because Gabby's going, and because she
ah,
speaks Spanish." So, and I was like, "All right. So as long as I'm going, then everyone's good to go. All right." So that was fun.
plus can keep me safe.
Exactly. Keep everybody safe.
See? Win-win. Win-win for
Yep.
me. I can travel outside of the country for the first time ever and, not die.
Yep. You won't. I promise.
That's super cool. That's super cool. So expectations. Look, tomorrow's weigh-ins. Like I said, this is the last Rise of the Prospects interview I'm doing. Tomorrow, we're less than 24 hours away from you hitting the scale, right? So I want to know. You've trained for this fight extremely hard. You've changed things up. to create improvements in your game. Do you have an idea of how you think this fight is going to play out? Do you see it being a tough fight? Do you think you're just better than her in every aspect? Do you think you're going to finish her? Like, how are you feeling? I want to know.
I feel good, but you know what? I don't know anything about Shakira. I don't. So, I mean, she's a girl that does MMA, so I know she's going to be tough. Steven, give me 1 second. I got to kick my kids out of my room.
Do you?
Get out. Get out, Jaden. Get out. I can't deal with my kids right now. No, you need to get out. I have to make them my mattress because... No, get out, please. See? So I'm always busy. This is what I got to do.
They are probably the only ones that would intentionally annoy you because everybody else would get their asses kicked.
Yes. Yep. They really do. They push my buttons. Anyways, yeah, I don't know I don't know anything about Shakira, but I'm sure she's tough. I'm sure she's going to bring, her A game. I'm sure she's been training, just as hard as I have. So I expect it to not be easy. But what's the fun in that? You want a challenge. So that's what I'm expecting. Obviously, I hope that I win. I hope that I finish her. That's the goal. That's my intention. But I never underestimate anybody. I've competed enough now in jiu-jitsu and to know that you can't underestimate anybody. You just have to go out there and know that you're going to have to give it 150% because you don't know what that other person's bringing. So I just expect it to be a fight. I expect it to be a good one, a fun one, and we're both going to have to put in work. So
there you go. I love it. I love it. And you guys are like on a prime spot on the card. I love to see the girls get some love because, like I said, I saw your last fight. Instant fan. Okay, I was thoroughly impressed, and I think them putting you, right there in like the featured bout area is
yeah,
perfect. You know what I mean? I think
that
it's.
was pretty cool. I was
I
like,
think it
oh,
speaks to
okay.
your last performance, though. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It speaks to your last performance. They know the Rise knows what we're all gonna get, so that's why they put you there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. When I saw that, I was like, a part of me was like, man, I'm at the end. Like, I'm not going to be able to go hang out. That part sucks because last time I was like fourth, I think. And so I got to just go like eat and hang out with my friends and everything. So that was cool. But then I was like, man, I'm at the end. I don't get to do that this time. But then I was like, well, I guess that means that, people are excited to watch us. So that's cool.
It was 100% intentional. The Rise of Prospects, they know what they're doing,
Yeah.
especially with the matchmaking. I really think they did a very good job with this card. I think they're going to have a lot of close, exciting fights,
Yeah.
and it's going to be dope. Arizona's got some really, really, really fucking good talent as far as our fighters are concerned, and our matchmakers in this state do a very, very, very good job matching up all of this awesome talent. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm stoked. I told you I was doing high kicks in the living room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's going to be a good time. I've been on obviously their last one. I was on the jiu-jitsu one before that, and that was my first time, and it was a lot of fun. So I was like, oh, I'm getting back on, like whatever they do, Jen, take me. So
and with open arms, she did. You know what I mean?
yeah.
All right. Well, before I let you go, do you have anybody that you would like to thank that's gotten you to your career this far?
Definitely my coaches, Coach Matt and Coach Keith. They have been my coaches since day one. They saw something in me. They saw my work ethic, how hard I work, and they've stuck with me ever since. So I definitely am grateful for their support. They support me in everything that I do. All I have to do is tell Coach Matt, like, I want to go compete at, this. And he's like, all right, let's go. When is it? Like he always has my back. He's always there for me. And Coach Keith is the same, with him, he trains other guys at the other gym. So his schedule is a little more, not as flexible, but he still always has my back and supports me. And we butt heads a lot. Coach Keith and I, we do. But at the end of the day, like I know he's there for me and for my kids. And he knows that I appreciate everything that he does, and I value his time and his effort that he puts into us, because he really does put a lot of time and energy into the guys that he trains and me. I'm the only girl, so we definitely all appreciate and value his time and energy into us. And the same with Coach Matt. You know, I'm pretty much like the only one that trains from that competes from our gym, so I always appreciate him being there for me and willing to support everything that I want to do. And everybody at Northside, all the guys at Northside, like I said, they helped me with my last camp as well. And they're hard on me. They push me, but they motivate me. And, you know, I'm, I've gotten as good as I've gotten because of them, you know, because I've had their help, and they're all great, you know, Seabass, Tristan, Anthony, whose guy unfortunately pulled out, you know, Muhammad, Aaron, all of them are great. So I definitely appreciate them. The girls over at Rise, and Chris and Jen, for, you know, letting me go train over there. Like I said, I got really close to the girls really fast, and I know they're all supporting me, and I just love them. They're so much fun. We have so much fun together. It doesn't feel like training when it's fun, you know, so I always appreciate that. Um, so all the girls over there, they know who they are. And like I said, my friends, like, they are the greatest cheerleaders ever. They're the same way. Like, they're willing to support me in everything that I do. They check on me. They're like, "What do you need? Need help with this, that?" They definitely make it easier, because without them, like, I probably, you know, I don't know if I could do it just with trying to juggle the kids alone. You know, the help I get with that is monumental for me, because I don't have family here. It's literally just me and my kids. So the gym people have become like my family, and I love them all for it. So yeah, and my kids for dealing with my craziness, you know, everything I always want to do and having to sacrifice there with me. And honestly, I do it for them. You know, like I said, I just want to show them that anything is possible, and that they can take it, they can go far in the sport. They're both, I'm not just saying this because they're my kids, but they are both very talented in their own ways, in boxing and, you know, wrestling and jujitsu, and they love it. So I just want to, you know, set the example for them that, look, mom's here doing it with you guys. You know, you're not suffering alone. I'm suffering probably more than you are sometimes, but I'm doing it, so you can do it too. So yeah, and of course Jen and Chris, you know, just for hosting these shows. They're great. They're so much fun. Everybody loves them. So definitely a huge thank you for them, and for giving me my third opportunity to be on their show, back to back to back. So definitely thank you to them, and just everyone else that supports me. You know, a lot of times people come up to me after the fights, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like, I've watched you before," and I'm like, "Oh, cool, thank you." So I know I have some fans, so that's pretty cool. I was laughing on the Rise card. It said fan favorite. I was like, "Oh, I'm the fan favorite. That's nice." So, you know, just everyone that comes out to support. It's a good time, and it's nice to have people there, whether they're cheering for you or against you. It's all good. It's a lot of fun. And you
Well,
too. Thank you
well,
for having, you know, our interviews. I think they're great. I watched a couple of them, and, you know, it's just fun to listen to everybody and just learn more about everybody, and, you know, how their camps went, how they're different, things that we do similar. Um, yeah, it's just nice to get to know people. So thank you. Much
well,
appreciated.
my pleasure. One of my favorite things to do, aside from calling fights, this is the next best thing, right? So, and plus, I love giving you guys a platform to tell your stories. You know what I mean? Good, bad, whatever. You know what I mean? Sometimes people just need to get it out there. You know what I mean? So that's where I come in.
Yeah.
You know, I just I love doing it, and I'm gonna keep doing it as long as I guess have a phone and Skype.
Yeah,
You know?
right. You should. It's definitely fun. And like I said, it was fun watching other people's and just getting to tell our side, because unless you go through this, you don't know what it's like. So it's nice to be able to just kind of give people a little bit of insight on, this is what we go through, you know, like, it looks, you know, we post, I know I post stuff on Instagram, like my pictures and stories and whatever, and it's like, it looks all, you know, cool, but I'd be dying sometimes, like legit dying. You know, it might not look like it on the video or the picture, but I am hurting sometimes, and it's rough, you know, and just all the other personal things that we all, I'm sure, have to deal with. You know, we all sacrifice a lot of time, energy, and so it's nice to be able to share that and give people, you know, a little bit more of like closer look into our lives and what we're doing and why we do it. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Like I said, my pleasure. And my answer would be, here's the address to my gym. Uh, feel free to come give it a shot. I'll leave it easy on you. You know, that would be my response, you know?
Yeah. Oh, my kids are over
Okay,
there.
so Saturday night, this Saturday, like the day after
Yeah.
tomorrow, July
Friday.
9th, over at the Rialto Theatre, Gaby Caban is going to be taking on Shakira Lindsay. And like I said, that featured bout, okay, in the Rise of the Prospects Cage Series 2. It's going to, like I said, the whole card from top to bottom, phenomenal. It's a great card. Our matchmakers, like I said, in the state, they are phenomenal. So very much looking forward to this entire card. And of course, you know, I'm gonna be watching your fight. Come on now. Come on.
Yeah. It'll be a good time.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said it'll be a good time. I promise.
Okay. And then afterwards, we're getting Empire.
Yes, we're getting Empire and we're hanging out at Cobra, getting litty and we're having fun, having a good time.
All right. Perfect. Well, before I get you out of here, is there anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good. I'm just excited. I'm excited. I can't wait to get weigh-ins done tomorrow because I'm hungry and thirsty. But you know, I'm looking forward to Saturday. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there and just hopefully putting on a good fight and meeting everybody's expectations. So that's it.
I think you'll do fine. All right. So I will see you tomorrow.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Until next time.
Okay, thank you.